That's a fear that some people run away from, that people don't want to face. When you have a real fear of dying and being just another person, that I live to pay the bills. I made $1,000 a month. This is my life. I spray for cockroaches, man. If that makes you feel good, that's great. It didn't make me feel good. I wanted to, the first time in my life, after 26 years, it was 24, 25, wherever I was, I wanted to feel good about myself.
Success is a tough game. It's gonna be a dog-eat-dog world out there, and you need to have the mentality of the winning dog. You can't settle to be the dog that gets eaten. That's gonna mean you are using every single possible hour that you can in your day. Now, that doesn't mean you don't go weeks without sleeping. That means you use every single hour to the best of your ability that you wake up, because we all have 24 hours in a day, but it's all about how we use those time to the best of our advantage to make sure that you will be the best that you can be. So that way, when it comes down to it, you're gonna rise up from the challenge. You're gonna be that better person because you put in all that time, energy, and effort into your craft. You just pumped it in there at a time where people were sleeping or people were out partying or doing whatever that isn't productive. And you were there constantly on the grind, learning new things by watching videos, by reading books, by listening to audiobooks or podcasts, or even asking people for help. That is exceptionally okay. So many people think that asking for help is a terrible thing to do, when in actuality, that's a great thing. There's so many people who are wanting to help, but nobody ever asks them, so they're never giving it out. And the worst thing they can do is say no, and then you go on to the next person, until you find somebody who can truly benefit you.
People would constantly remind me of who I used to be back in the day. I was looking for strength my entire life. I was a really weak kid. My dad beat the living shit out of me and took I was strong as a young kid, but me protecting my mom for so many years in that house, my dad made me very afraid. So in that, every man wants courage. Every man wants strength. At least this one does. So I found it in every way possible. And when I see a strong guy, I was like, okay, maybe he can teach me. It comes from a disgusting place of not being fulfilled in your life, afraid of dying, having never accomplished anything.
The whole thing about it is that your mind has the ultimate tactical advantage over you. It knows your insecurities, knows your fears, it knows your self-doubts, it knows all those creepy spots that we want to stay clear of. So our mind keeps us from those spots. So the whole 40% rule is I was living my whole life kind of going away from those spots that made me very uncomfortable. It's about being driven almost to the point where you're obsessed. Because when you get to that point of being driven and possibly obsessed, you no longer care if it's 30 degrees outside. That wind chill hits your face, you feel it, you might go back inside, but to get more clothes on to go outside. So you have to find that passion, that purpose of your life. It's different for everybody. It's just look at yourself in the mirror. We are always, a lot of us are waiting for this magical thing to happen and fix our lives. Like, for instance, a lot of things damage my life. It's your dad, it's your mom, it's your childhood, it's being bullied. It's so many things that we all have a story. But what happens is we're always sitting in, I call it poopy pants. And that's not gonna happen. You have to do that. You have to face all these things because they're not all yours to own. You have to call yourself out. I want to be proud of myself, but you have to call yourself out in a way that's not kind. We live in a very kind, gentle world. We have to find the right words for situations.
This is unbelievable. There's no miles. It's not about the miles. It's that, having a discipline every day to say, for me to learn this one math problem, it's gonna take me 10 hours. And that's where and you realize through hard work, you can outwork anybody, no matter how badass they are. But that's the part people don't want to dive into. It starts with yourself, man. You gotta start diving into those things that you are afraid of. You don't gain confidence by going to the spot that makes you feel good. It's gonna be a false reality. And the second life gives you that challenge, all you wanna do is go back to what made you confidence, or what gave you confidence, is that happy spot. What gives you confidence, what gave me confidence, was spending years at a kitchen table trying to learn how to read and write on my own. Realizing I can't learn the way you learn. I can't. But I can learn. What gives you confidence, not being afraid, is overcoming the fear. It's just a gift to say, look, man, I'm vulnerable. I'm very, very human. I'm not God's gift. I'm not Superman. I'm not Batman. I'm not even Robin. I did figure out some things along my journey. So if I kept myself introverted and closed in, no one would ever, realize, man, that big, hard, tough guy over there, man, he's just some superhuman, and they put a title on me. This way, I have to break myself down, let people know that anyone can be who they want to be. But so
I had a starting point, and the starting point was this very scared, immature, fragile kid. But through figuring out this fragile kid, I found out this can come out the other end. A person that has 4,030 pull-ups, who runs miles and miles and miles at a time. But we all have these abilities, not just to run and do pull-ups, but these abilities that once we go back into our dark holes that a lot of us have. A lot of us come from, insecurities, a lot of issues, but we don't want to visit that place. Place is scary. Place is something that we want to forget about. I had the courage, finally, to go back in there, get it organized in my mind and figure out, where to start from. But the journey led me to the so-called superhuman stuff that I do now.
Thank you all so much for watching. Please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let us know what you thought down in the comment section below.